Yes, for those that are not familiar with who Blockhead is, he's a producer out of New York. Produced for many artists, Mark Speck, Ill Logic, of course, Aesop Rock.
Ill Logic.
This joint, I actually didn't even know that it was coming out until Myke told me about it. Cause I
saw it on Twitter.
You did?
I saw it on Twitter. He was promoting it on Twitter, or maybe you retweeted on Twitter. I don't know, but that's where I saw it on Twitter. That's how I was aware of it.
2017, when the Art of Sampling came out, was the last project from Blockhead that I heard. But so yeah, I was like, wow. And you know, he had the MCs he had on there. I'm like, okay, cool. I know this is I'm in. This is gonna be our first like you know like last year when Evidence came out. I was like, okay, yeah, this is the first shit that dropped. So yeah, but this definitely was like when the second track hit with Billy Woods, Open Myke Eagle.
Slippery slope.
Oh my fucking.
So he's a producer / rapper.
He's on.
So he's strictly produced.
Yeah, he just produced.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
So he sang on one project. It was kind of a joke.
This one? Oh,
No. He used to be in a group called Party Fun Action Committee.
I forgot all about that. I was just on Wiki. I was like, I forgot he was even a part. I forgot all about that.
So yeah, start off with Slippery Slope with Billy Woods and that commanding voice, man. Like, geez.
Is Billy Woods the one that said the shit about white strangers coming on the block and all that?
For drugs.
Yeah, I like him. I like him.
His
like,
voice.
That one line, I was like,
his voice is so commanding, man. That's one thing I always love about
it. It caught me off guard because it takes me a while for all kilter MCs like that.
Yeah.
But the shit he was saying though, it was just like, wow, like. I didn't know does he always rap about shit like that?
Yeah.
I did not know.
Anything he's done?
I haven't. I hear y'all talk about him all the time, but I just never.
I don't know that you'll like him a lot.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't usually rap over this type of production.
Yeah.
It's usually really weird. Except he did have a whole album produced by Blockhead.
Where's he from?
He's from New York, I think.
Yeah.
I hope I'm not wrong. I'm pretty sure it's New York.
But yeah, that shit hit
But I attribute
home.
a lot of dope MCs. I'm like, oh, they're from New York, but they might not be.
Yeah, that line alone hit home really quick. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, I remember that because I remember having that same feeling when I was younger, like about like why are these strangers like why are they so comfortable with coming to the hood? Like it was weird. So when he said that line, I was just like, wow, that's deep. I knew he wasn't Open Myke because I know what Open Myke sounds like. I said this must be the Billy Woods guy. I said when we do the review, I'll ask. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna go listen to him after hearing that though.
Oh yeah, listen and Arm & Hammer too. But I think Blockhead did a great job of and I wish a lot of more producers do that when they make like compilation style albums. Is like have instrumental albums in the middle to kind of like break up like the regular songs with MCs because the MCs he had on here was definitely dope. Aesop Rock, of course they fit like a glove because I mean all the works that he's done with him. I thought the Homeboy Sandman, which that and the joint with Tree. Was like one of my favorite joints, man.
Yeah.
The joint with Tree, that's
I don't know who Tree is.
I don't know who
he is.
He sounded dope.
I think I've seen his name before. Like he used to be around a long time ago, and I didn't look, so I could really be mistaken.
Yeah.
But all I know is when that shit came on, I was like, "Where the fuck is Ski Mask?"
Dude.
It's that motherfucking voice.
And like I mean, Blockhead just he painted a perfect beat for that particular track and everything, man. That's easily like one of my favorite tracks. That was my favorite tracks on it. And I'm so glad with this being half instrumental and half song, actual songs. I'm glad like the MCs brought it. Like I feel like Open Myke Eagle they brought it. Homeboy Sandman brought it. Even it was another joint.
Mark Speck.
Keep leaving out Breeze Brewing, man. And I don't mean to cut you off, but
No, you're right.
Like that first song, I was like, what a weird matchup. Open Myke Eagle, Billy Woods, and Breeze Brewing. And it just came together beautifully because their three styles are so different.
Yep.
And Open Myke was amazing. We already talked about Billy Woods at length.
Right.
Open Myke was just fucking great. The line about I want my kids to be free to be as weird as a white kid was just a dope ass line. But then Breeze Brewing, who's from Juggernauts for those that don't know, but he has always had one of my favorite voices in rap and one of my favorite flows in rap because you can always recognize when he starts rapping. And his verse was just so fucking good. And the shit about call the cops when they lack reasoning other than when a brother is offending for black breathing. Yeah. Like, god damn, what the fuck? Like, that line was just so fucking great. Throughout this shit, you're right, he definitely picked some good MCs to be on this. But even for the song with Aesop Rock, it was like, the beat was not something that you typically hear Aesop rapping over. And I thought that's what was interesting. A lot of the production on here
I like that, though.
did not sound like typical Blockhead.
Like if you listen to Capture the Sun beats and listen to this, it's completely like.
I mean, even if you go from his last project,
Well, yeah.
The balloons.
Funeral Balloons.
Funeral Balloons.
And
Even
so
if
he
you go
released
for
2 projects then. That was 2017 too.
Yeah.
Shit.
Funeral Balloons was the Backwoods project.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you listen to that versus this,
Yeah.
his production style is completely different. I'm not gonna say which one's better or worse. I like them both, but this is so much cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
Like Blockhead is a very sample based, and he's some of his beats are kind of dirty, but this
Very
just
dirty.
sounded so clean and just really detailed to me that I was like, wow, this is a Blockhead project. And this is very, very different. But what's also cool is it's diverse as fuck.
Yeah.
Like you got some esoteric beats, you got some smooth beats, and you even got some like. There was one song, gosh, I can't remember which one it was, that almost sounded like a blaxploitation film type of beat.
I heard the same thing. I don't know which one it is.
It almost sounded like an old blaxploitation movie, and I was like, damn, this just sounds dope. But I definitely agree with you that Deeper Still with Homeboy Sandman was a definite standout because that beat was dope and Homeboy Sandman fucking rocked that
Is he
shit.
still
I think that was one of my-
making albums? Homeboy still making
he
albums?
did 2 EPs with Aesop Rock.
Yep.
Okay.
He's-
No, I was saying like by himself, like solo.
Yeah, he's on
Yeah.
Stone Store.
Okay.
He's on
Yeah,
Stone
yeah.
I know he's okay, but I didn't know if he.
He's still making music.
Yeah, he's still
Okay,
making
okay.
music. Yeah.
I did like that track, but I think it's gonna take a minute to grow on me the way
Which track?
the one where
Deeper
I'm
Still.
saying.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
That bass and those horns.
I did like the
yes.
way it ended, like the way he ended it with the sample. Like that's when I was like, oh, okay. But and maybe it's just the other tracks. I maybe take to them a little bit more, but I do like it. But I just the standout part.
What about Be
it
Safe?
didn't get me like that. Which one? Which
Yeah,
one?
one Arm and Hammer. Be safe.
Man, come
Man,
on,
I know.
man.
Yeah.
Come on,
That beat was dope. Like the way he's able to create a beat like that's so minimal, that gives those
That gives
MCs so much room to like rap. Because I feel like he knows what they're good at and he knows what they need. Like they don't need some crazy all over the place beat. Because those guys fill up so much space when they rap.
Yep.
So that beat was so fucking perfect for them.
I didn't expect to see Vic Spencer featured on here.
Who is he? I don't know him.
He's an MC. He released a few albums last year and the year before.
I'm
He's
not
done-
familiar with him at all.
Yeah, he's done some work with some dope people, man. But
He said his name and I was like, this doesn't sound like Vic Mensa.
No.
But
Right,
I went back
yeah.
and looked.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, Vic Spencer.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah, he's
familiar
done-
with him.
yeah.
So Tree has been around for a while. He has released projects. Tree and Vic Spencer has released a project before together too. So I've heard Vic Spencer. I've never really listened to Vic Spencer
Gotcha.
the way I listen to him on here.
Right.
And again, where the ski mask at? Because that damn voice and the way he rapped was so aggressive and mean, and he just sounded like he was just ready to fuck a motherfucker up. And I was like, God damn! And it's just. And it's not even that long. It's like a minute and 44 seconds.
That's all
And
you
he
need.
just come in and he just kills it, man.
Usually, for my personal taste, like if you're making an instrumental track, at least keep it like no longer than 2 minutes. Even though they were 4 minutes, but I'm glad he switched. The beat switched up and he changed things up. He did a lot of change up on a lot of instrumental tracks, which I was like happy for it. Like I was like cool because I ain't want him to give me the same thing for 4 or something minutes. Like I'm glad he switched it up. He threw in different instrumentals. He changed up a lot of the tracks on the instrumental joints. So I was like, okay, cool. I like
Yeah, the
that.
Funeral Balloon songs were all like 4 or 5 minutes long.
But he at least kind of switched it up though. Like it wasn't the same loop. Like
Some of them were, yeah.
on Funeral, not from what I
Funeral
remember.
Balloons, like, all the songs were like 4 or 5 minutes long, and he didn't switch up the beat all crazy on every single one. Blockhead is just the type of producer that's not gonna give you just one long ass loop anyway.
Right.
Like, cause he's sampling shit, so it sounds like to me a lot of times in his production, it sounds like a band.
It was like the
Yeah,
detail.
samples.
I think you mentioned earlier is what I picked up on the instrumental tracks. Because when Dream On was the first one, I was like, okay, yeah, just Blockhead, is which sounded like something Atmosphere would rap over, but yeah, I didn't know that he was gonna intermix like the features with his instrument with his beats.
Yeah.
And I was wondering when I was listening, I was like. I kept thinking, I'm like, there has to be somebody that has done that before, but you're saying that.
Yeah, I'm
He's
trying.
done what before?
Like a producer only like just makes an album and when they feature MCs, but sometimes they don't. It just be every song will be a featured MC. It's never like an instrumental.
No,
nothing
right.
Like
that.
Factor Chandelier does that. Like, I think that's a pretty standard thing for like indie rap producers. Like, they know better than to give you a whole fucking.
But who did you name?
Factor Chandelier. He's like a Fake 4 producer. He does that. I mean, I don't think that's that crazy. I think it's smart.
Yeah.
No, I do.
Yeah.
And that was like one of the takeaways that I had from like I wasn't saying that it didn't exist. I was saying that I just never heard it myself, or I'm not familiar, or maybe forgotten. So
to throw a couple just
the way that he did it, producer feature, feature. I think you had feature on like 9 and 10 and 12 and 13, but it was just something I noticed that was different from the albums that I've heard, and I figured somebody had to have done this before in the past, but I just didn't know. I
think mainstream producers don't do that.
Yeah,
because they can't. Because they know that like every song needs to be a hit. You're not gonna get a hit off a fucking beat.
Right.
Know? But I think indie rap producers.
Because Alchemist does it.
Alchemist does do that too.
Yeah.
That's true. You being a producer, I know like his other like the drums on his other projects. They don't sound like this.
Crisp.
Like these sound so clean.
So crisp. Like I kind
of like the dirty drum sound that he always has.
But this is fine,
this sounds amazing too.
And it also helps having the MCs too. The MCs kill it too. But his drums. This is the crisp I've ever heard of Blockhead drums.
Me too.
I'm like, damn. I was checking like, wait a minute, is my speaker that damn good, or is this?
Nah,
I'm
he
like,
definitely
this
switched up his
drums,
drum sound.
Yeah, that was.
I think he's showing you motherfuckers that he's not a one-trick pony. He can give you a whole lot of different shit. And this is the first time where I've really been like, on one single Blockhead project, he's giving us so many different sounds.
And I'm fine with that.
Me too.
Like you said, long as it's to the point to where we like, ooh, like, don't do that again. Like, ooh, like we've heard
I
MCs.
didn't get none of that.
Yeah, I'm just saying we've heard MCs and producers do that. Like, no, I don't think he no need to do that. But this, I'm glad I still felt that Blockhead blueprint, instilled in all these beats and all this production, man. Like that's one thing I took away from this. I'm like, okay, cool. Stuff sounds different. It sounds different from his previous work, but I still got Blockhead. Like as long as you ain't taking me out where I'm like, dude, what you trying to do? What are you trying to do here? Like, why are you trying to go for this sound, or why are you trying to go for this type of tempo or whatever? Like, no, I'm glad he still kept it engraved in Blockhead.
So what's his most notable works up to this point?
Aesop Rock.
Daylight. Labor Days.
Like he was kind of like back in the day, from what I remember, like those two were so ingrained with each other. Like when the Aesop Rock project came out, up until Bazooka Tooth was when Aesop started producing his own stuff. But before then, it was like when the Aesop Rock project came out, you knew you were gonna have at least 4, 5, 6 Blockhead beats.
Okay.
Probably more.
But I'm just saying at least.
Yeah.
But like I think that kind of severed at some point when Aesop Rock was more comfortable producing his own shit, like around like None Shall Pass. Aesop was doing his own stuff more, but there were still Blockhead beats on there. But the beats that he was doing back then, they don't sound anything like this, which is just interesting to me. How he's I don't want to say progressed, because his beats, I don't know. I wouldn't say that they're better or worse.
Right.
It's just he's changed so much over time. But like you said, you still have that Blockhead sound. You can still say, "Damn, that sounds like a Blockhead beat."
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, I hadn't heard too much of his name. I'm sorry, Ken. I just hadn't heard too much of his name like that.
Yeah, and for
That
me,
is weird.
Yeah, I know. For me, I've always him particularly, and no, I always producers. I've always, whenever I list producers, and then like after I list them, I be like, fuck. Those two I always forget, and their beats are so like precise and craft very well. But whenever I'm listening, like if I'm giving a list of just producers I enjoy right now or in the previous years, I always forget those two names. I just be like, damn, why am I always forgetting those two?
They're two of the best. I don't know if the underground rap term is even accepted anymore, but they're two of the best when it comes to indie underground rap that just don't get enough props for what they've done. And it's like,
Who two? No and
Blockhead, because it's like neither one of them have ever fallen off.
Yeah.
And it's like when you put their shit on now, they're still making beats that are fucking mind blowing. But it's just one of these weird things where it's like we just forget about them. We just forget about them. I think that maybe it's just a matter of the MCs that they work with.
That's why I was asking what's
they
the
don't
most...
get that type of notoriety.
Exactly.
You have Aesop Rock when it comes to Blockhead. You have, like I said, he did a Billy Woods project.
Right.
He did an Illogic project.
Yeah.
But then you have No, who does a Sadistic project, but he mostly works with Cunnilinguists. Right. So it's like, unless you're tapped into that part of hip hop, you're just not gonna know.
Gotcha.
Another one of my favorite tracks on it was Blueville, and Hemlock, man. I did not expect that from him. Again, one of these rappers you've heard, because he was on Open Mike Eagle stuff before, but the way that he rapped on here, and then the content of that song, was like every time it come on, man, it's just like You know, he just comes in with so much energy, and he just because it starts off real kind of slow, and he kind of walks you in, and then the beat just kick in, he just jump in, and he be flowing, man.
Well, the whole project was kind of heavy, and I thought
Heavy?
like I don't know, it just kind of was like serious almost. It didn't sound like I'm just, you know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Because his past projects, they aren't always like that. There's like a darker cloud over this one. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, looking at the album title, I think you're right. Weeping Willow, Deeper Still.
Weeping Willow was a little playful. That was the one that had like an almost like, I don't want to say the word merengue, but there was like a
But
there was kind of like a little dancey type of shit to it. Only for a minute, then it went away.
But then he brought it back though. He brought it back.
But Rod's right.
But think about a Weeping Willow. Like think about that tree. Like it's like very dark and like sad and you know what I'm
That's
saying?
true. I mean, that's a good point.
You know, it's in the swamps.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that.
I didn't either.
All I was saying was, his beats are very different. They're more polished. I didn't think about the fact that they are a lot darker and more serious.
Yeah,
You're right.
Weeping Willow. Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah.
You're talking about Hemlock Ernst. Do you know who he is? Like
Not fully.
Hemlock Ernst is in a band called Future Islands. I'm not a fan of the band really, and I didn't know he rapped until I reviewed a Milo album and he had a feature, and I was like, yeah, it's Hemlock Ernst guy. He's dope. He's like this very unassuming looking white guy. He did like an amoeba thing where he's like, oh yeah, I really love rap and da 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 da. He's talking about all these indie rap shit, and then I discovered that he's got a lot of verses out there, and he's dope.
Yeah,
he's
he was
really
on
dope.
Scallops Hotel, Scallops Hotel was on Open Mike Eagle before.
Yep.
Like he's been around, and number one, I didn't know he was white,
I don't think people know that he's the same guy from Future Islands.
and I didn't know about any of that.
That's crazy.
So, but the content of this song and him being a white guy, because he said something about black mothers going to sleep while black mothers crying and while white America sleeps or something along those lines. I thought he was black.
Nah, he's a white dude.
I thought he was black.
When we're done, look at a picture of him, you'd be like, that's the motherfucker that's been rapping?
He's an ally.
He is. He's a very intelligent person who I wish I liked his band more so I can get more of him from that. But I've just read interviews and I've seen stuff that he says. He's extremely intelligent. But the fact that he's also a dope rapper, you don't really get that often. When somebody from a fucking rock band is like, oh, I also like rap. And then you hear like, oh, they're going to do a verse. You're like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
This is about to be some fucking garbage. This guy?
And when you said it, I was trying to think of I cannot, I'm getting old. There was a group, I think out of Chicago, that was a band, but they also had rappers in it, and it wasn't Kids.
I was about to say, you talking about Kids Like Us?
Nah, was it?
Kids in the
Anyway, it
Hall?
don't matter.
No, they weren't a band. They were just a rap group.
Yeah, you'll see.
Vic Spencer was in it, I think.
Kids Like Us.
Is that it?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Damn, I am getting old.
Because he said it's not Kids
know,
Like Us.
right.
It's Kids Like Us.
Yeah, well, anyway. I knew I was gonna like it. I knew it was gonna be an enjoyable listen. I didn't know I was gonna love it as much as I did. Like, you know, because you look at the track list, a lot of rappers on here are like, so I was like, oh, this is gonna be dope. Producer, you know, good producer. I enjoy his beats. You know, rappers I like. This is gonna be good to listen to. But like it sounds good wherever you play it. I was playing God of War and just playing it in the background. It feels good there. It feels good in the headphones. Feels good in the car. And then the beats are just as strong as the songs with the rappers. And that was one of the things that really caught me off guard, because I love the beats just as much as the song with you know, everybody else.
Yeah.
It had a nice soundscape.
Yeah. They definitely stand out on their own as well. My favorite tracks on here are Slippery Slope, Frank, Be Safe, Blueville. Give me Favorite Chair.
Slippery Slope, Frank, Deeper Still, Be Safe, and Favorite Chair.
Are any of those instrumentals that you know?
No.
Give me one of your favorite instrumentals.
Tender in the Time of Chlorine, Cholera. Cholera, yeah.
That's why you want to give it, because you know it's Go ahead.
Touche.
Yeah, definitely Slippery Slope. Definitely Kiss the Crook. Deeper.
You got an R. You got an
Crook. You said Crook.
Yeah.
All right.
You get it.
Being an asshole. You're right. Slippery Slope, Kiss the Cook, Deeper Still, Be Safe, and yeah, I'm gonna say Blue Veil.
Blockhead, if you're watching, good album, man. I really enjoyed it, and I like the mix of your instrumental beats with the rappers and the way the album was sequenced really, really, really well. And just as an overall solid project from top to bottom.
Yes, Blockhead, if you're watching, you know, huge fan of your work for years. Like I told them earlier, it's like it's a shame that whenever I talk about producers, it's you and No. I've always leave out because I'm always paying attention to other producers, and it could be to Mike's point. Maybe I don't know if it's just the type of MCs that they work with. It's just like why they always not getting recognized. But either way, this work, good job, man. Like I'm so glad you infused a mixture of the instrumentals and the MCs, the songs with MCs on there as well, man. I think you did a great job. I think it was, like Ken said, sequenced well. I think you had a good balance of, you know, the instrumental tracks, MC tracks, instrumental track. Like I think you did a great job of that, and the MCs you picked, and the fact that you blended these beats so well for them, and the fact that these beats sound so clean and crisp, and you still gave me that Blockhead feeling. I love it, man. So good job.
Echo what both of them have said. This is a great project, a really good way to start the year off, with some dope ass beats and some great MCs. And I think that what's dope is you gave the MCs the kind of backdrop that they needed to do what they do, but at the same time, I feel like you gave them a little bit of spin sometimes. But I think that this is a really diverse project, and I love the fact that you definitely stepped out of your wheelhouse, whether it was intentional or not. As fans, we can spot the differences, and I think that that's really dope. That, like B said, you still kept your signature sound, but still gave a little spin to it. So, yeah, man, great project.